All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for taking the time and putting in that little effort there, buddy.
That's all I got for you guys today. I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Joe, for that clap.
We'll do this. Oh, it's not working because I didn't turn the volume back up. Idiot. There we go. A nice round of applause for me.
I'm having all types of issues here. I got things falling all over me. It's okay. Just pretend I'm not here.
Hey, it's a real great start to the
pandemonium on
Welcome
the podcast.
to episode 102, ladies and gentlemen.
45 seconds in and we got pandemonium running wild.
Welcome to episode 102, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
here at the S&P podcast.
This is our podcast. This is my life.
Let's go to weather with Pat Lynch right now.
It's going to rain.
It's going to rain. Well, tomorrow's going to rain.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Boo.
Hopefully not like last weekend.
Oh, God.
Why is that, Pat? Give us a little story about last week as we sit in your basement.
Well, if we were doing this podcast last Sunday about 9 a.m.
The viewers can't smell it, but we can.
It smells. I cleaned this floor. We cleaned this floor. It smells
like diarrhea
down
here.
It smells like antibacterial lemon pledge down here is what it smells like. We would have been about 3 inches underwater where we're currently sitting as of last Sunday, about 9 a.m. in the morning. And then about 10 a.m. in the morning, it would have been covered in sewer goop, which was even better.
Ooh, sewer goop.
Yeah.
So that's the good kind of stuff.
So thanks, Chicago, for that wonderful sewer work you're doing around here to upgrade my system.
That has happened to my parents' place as well in the basement. It's come up from the...
Yeah, it's gross.
Yep.
That's
they're like little worms that go in there from the feces, and Katrina's like, "What are those?" I'm like, "You don't want to know."
Wait, what?
Lord,
what?
Yeah, there's like little worms, like you kind of remember like the liquefied raccoon kind of thing. There's like stuff crawling around in there,
the
like
maggots.
Yeah, that happens. And this, there was like all around this area that I had to vacuum up, and then I had to like clean that thing out. It was a real mess.
Holy sweet! Rock me to sleep tonight.
All the rugs have been thrown out. These are new rugs because all the other ones they're totally gone.
Oh God.
Yeah, we may want to put a little disclaimer at the beginning of this. The first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If you got uneasy stomach, you may not want to listen to this part of the podcast.
Yeah, it was lovely. Anyways, moving on. How's everybody's week doing? Mine was not great. Mine was not great. Anybody else has had a good week? Any better?
Yeah, it was terrific. I mean, just working.
Joe, how was your week, Joe?
Joe saved this podcast, please.
Yeah,
it was an okay week. There was a work event, and apparently.
You got wasted like Pat Lynch did that one time?
No, I was teaching.
I got wasted after the Gark event.
We went to Sluggers last night, and we tried to do the baseball, the batting cages.
So slammed always, right?
Holy sweet mother of mercy! There's one guy in there who had the prettiest swing I've ever seen. It was everything would look like it would have been a home run, no joke. But yeah, if you've not been to Chicago, Sluggers, fun time. But at the same time, it wasn't that great because. Good Lord, did they pack these people in after the game?
Also, it's like $9 beer night once the Cubs game ends.
You want to know
they
what
found
it's
that out
like
the hard way.
be a sardine in a can?
I went to the last time I was there. I went to the dueling pianos for the first time actually there. I'd never actually gone to that part of the bar before.
They had that too, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and they got these piano bars going.
Ripping it,
what are we doing?
They're going. Those poor people are going to go going all night.
That one dude was like, "If you see me sitting around, say hello to us." And in my head, I'm thinking like, he really doesn't want that. He just wants some tips, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Joe. We definitely asked you how your week was going, and then totally
he said it was okay.
over it.
He said it was okay. Nothing special.
I thought he had
something
event.
about a work event.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Yeah, so we had totally forgot about this. We had a work event at
that's nice.
Topgolf on Thursday.
Oh, nice Topgolf out in Schaumburg.
Love me some Topgolf.
So I got to go there twice in like a month span time. Or
did you impress them with your amazing golf skills?
They were blown away by how every ball just went far. And nobody said anything about the violence of my swing, but they were like, "Yeah, it's
just implied, Joe, that you look like you're going to kill somebody."
Even the ones that rolled would just roll forever. But no, apparently I left. I had to teach boxing that night, so I left right at 5, and then everybody proceeded to get absolutely smashed, and only like 4 people showed up to work the next day.
Did you have to go out to like Schaumburg and get your boss's credit card from the bar that like the last time?
I did not have to do that. I was gone. If he left it, he had to pick it up himself.
Nice.
What was the work event for?
It was just like an outing for morale and.
Yeah, usually
that's nice.
Usually companies do like a summer outing and they do like a holiday thing.
The doctor's office that I work for on Fridays took the whole team to the White Sox game. So he literally shut down the office for a whole day and did a day game.
Were you still there working on that day?
No, this was like a Tuesday.
Okay.
So he has offered to, if I wanted to go to a game, I could go. And it's like
Bears always declined.
Also, the White Sox suck. Yeah, you heard it, boys. They suck.
I mean, they
love their
kept
stadium.
they kept their season alive this week.
Yeah, did they win today? Or, no, they lost yesterday.
Well, they beat the Guardians, and if they lost the Guardians, they were pretty much like mathematically impossible to catch them.
Wait, who are the Guardians?
They were formerly the Indians.
How is that possible with
okay.
14 games left and there would be 5 back?
I mean, they would have to play they did the math. It was like even if people team to 500 because the White Sox would have lost the tiebreaker. I think if they lost that game, so the Indians or the Guardians.
Yeah.
Sports.
Joe, we had a whole sports podcast about you last week.
And I was talking to Lauren today, and Chris, you definitely could have hit it there, but
I was going to hit the music, but I was
it's
like,
okay. I picked up Lauren, and then I was like, "How would you?" Because I last week's podcast 101 was honestly, if we would do the review like on 100, the next 100 when we do the review, 101 is going to be my favorite. It was so much fun. It was silly, and it was outside, so I love that one. I like being outdoors too. I think it's just a better atmosphere. It's a little bit better look than a patch grungy worm infested podcast.
I got a little thing in the back here.
But I also I want to make a note.
Oh yeah, please get on.
I need to wear that NWO shirt with you guys again, some point, but before.
Damn
before
them guns.
fall or cold weather hits, because
I'm just saying.
But yeah, when we're outside in the wintertime, that's Pierre's uniform.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go sleeveless.
S&P
but Lauren's mom was over at the apartment because they went to Florida.
Oh, you didn't want.
So I didn't want to come out guns. I didn't want to scare the lady. I didn't want. She didn't have a ticket to the gun show. So at this point, I was like, hey, can't be scared.
You didn't want to get the ladies all hot and bothered. We get it. We get it.
Thank you, Chris. I mean, if the viewers would have been there last night at Lottie's, me and Joseph. We're tearing up a goddamn carpet rent.
We were.
Sorry for the GD, but
we were crushing it.
Did they ever move those tables?
Oh,
they did.
Oh, yeah.
9:38. They were a little
slammed
late.
the chair, and I think to Mike's back, and that was the notion. And then we took it to the front of the podcast, podcast, the bar, and we got silly Willy. Let me tell you what.
Did Joe get reacquainted with the dart machine?
I did not.
If he wanted to, there was probably 7 women who would have been like, "Let's check out this dart or this."
The level of dancing. Thank God I wore an all black shirt. The level of dancing.
Holy sweet baby Ray! I forgot. So, ladies and gentlemen, my man here. There's Pat Lynch sweating, and then there's Joe Keneally sweating. And we used to go to this bar back in the day. Make it sound old, but it used to play oldies music.
Yep.
The
Hideout.
The Hideout. Yes, in the Hideout, and we would go and dance like there was no tomorrow. And Joseph would have to come in Under Armour to keep all the water in, all the sweat and nastiness in.
I'm like an 80s music video without the sexiness. It's just all the sweat.
You're like the girl in Flashdance where she pours the water on herself.
That's exactly, yes.
And in the winter, Joe will go outside and freeze the shirt again.
You got to
from
give
all the
yourself
sweat.
an applause after that one.
Yeah.
No,
and then you got to go, ah!
No applause on that one. Just the rim shot.
I don't know if I like this.
I like it. I
feel like I'm going to be in control.
I like it.
Thank you.
The fans love it. See?
Thank you. Okay, so wait, but we somehow got out of the story here. Oh, and then yesterday I didn't notice Joe was that sweaty, and then I accidentally went like, Joe, we're having the best time of our lives. I love this place, and I went,
Why is my hand white?
I'm like,
Yeah.
Did I just wash my hands?
I was just like, I too am having the time of my life. Also, I'm sorry.
Anytime one of the Joe told me this. I'm not trying to steal his thunder, but he said anytime the waitress came to walk by him and accidentally brushed up, because this one waitress, every time she came by, gave you that little smooth to the back.
Okay, I thought I was making that up. I was
no.
I am getting brushed up by this lady a lot.
Oh yeah. And she was doing it to everybody. And
yeah.
So
that's
Joe
what it
said
was. She was trying to get me to buy beers.
Yes. Every time she would come by, Joe would just turn to her and be like, "I'm sorry."
She's like, "You tip better now."
Oh man, it was a fun night, but it was
so Lottie's turned itself around then.
Oh, it was
Chris.
like on. I mean, I couldn't have called it better. I'm proud of myself.
We had Professor Joe here last night. I get there. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was our first Chris and I's first day off, which it really wasn't a day off, but we took our first kind of half day, probably since July. And so me and Chris, we went to the Cubs game, and we ended up at Lottie's. I told Chris and Joe, hey, come to Lottie's. And because we were thinking it's like 7:30. At Lottie's, if you come to Chicago, it's a great bar. On a Friday night, if you get there before 9, so you can get into the bar, and about like between 9 and 11, because at 11 or 11:30, that first girl that leaves it's like a stampede. It's like the herd knows they need to go.
You know who the first group that I thought was the 3 girls that were next to, or women that were next to us. One had like really curly black hair.
Yes.
They were right, and they were the first to go. First to go, and then honest to God, like.
But so but it took a long time, Pat. It took a long time for the atmosphere to get there, and
we got there at 7, I think.
Yeah, it was really early.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're coming from like, if you're not in Wrigleyville, like bars like that are not going to get poppered until later. You know,
Yeah.
People do it at dinner and they do whatever first. You know?
I also think you're right.
People got off work. They want to chill a little bit.
100%, I get that, and I think a little bit it was. You're right. It's like one of those days. It was 85 degrees in Chicago. It was beautiful. No one wants to be inside.
No, you want to be outside.
Yeah, people are hitting those patios up until they kick you out, and then they're going to like, okay, well now let's go somewhere else and have a drink.
So I said about 8:30. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. I felt bad. I got all these guys here, and Joe's like, no. He's like, 10 o'clock. The swarm will be here.
Well, that was the same thing on his bachelor party when we got to Enjoy. Chris was like, "Oh, Peter's gonna be pissed." He was like 10 later. I'm like, "Chris, it's like."
I didn't realize.
It's like 8:30.
In my defense on that one, I did not realize it was only like 9
literally
o'clock.
half an hour later, you couldn't move. Like it's gonna get there.
I did not realize it was
10
9.
o'clock hit. The beers were swirling. I think it was like 9:30, 9:45, and I was like, man, it's 9:45 still. Like this is crazy how quick this night is going. Before and the next time I looked at my watch because I was having my watch because my phone was dead was 11 o'clock, and it was insane how packed and how fast and how fun it got.
Did you pick up the row last night, Chris?
There was
no rowing for Chris.
Oh man, Peter had one of the best moments. Peter's phone is on its last leg most of the night.
1%, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fighting the 1% too.
Oh, Brian says something to Peter, and Peter brings out his phone, and he literally hits the power button to bring up, wake the screen up, and in that moment, his phone just shuts down.
Oh no! I'll tell you the story. And so I'm looking at because I was texting Lauren, and I'm Brian looks at me. He's like, because I've been at 1% for probably a good hour and a half, and Brian's like, he's like, your phone's still alive. I'm not even kidding you. Within the seconds, it went black screen death, and I'm like, Brian, really? You're gonna call me out?
Dude, that kid was jinxing everything yesterday. That no hitter and everything.
God, it was just funny.
Well, I was kind of doing that too. I was trying to get it over with because we were in the Cubs game into the 6th. We had a no hitter going. It was almost. I think it was a perfect game, almost, Chris.
No, it was a no hitter. He walked somebody in the 2nd inning.
Got it. Okay, so I was just trying to get because it was getting nerve wracking. We're getting in the 6th, and like me and Brian they're grabbing like lunch. And we're like, we got to get to our seats. We got to get to our seats before this guy comes to pitching again. Because we're gonna, if they get a hit and we're not in our seats, it's because we left our seats.
And then they got back.
Baseball.
And then they got back, and the guy launched a 400-foot home run.
And I literally said like,
at least it wasn't a no doubt. This wasn't a cheap shot, right?
Yes, that's exact. I said it like 10 minutes before that. I was like, if he's gonna give it up, he better give up a home run.
It wasn't like Arrieta who got like, remember in Boston they had that broken bat single that just went over the second baseman.
Oh, it was so terrible.
That was nuts.
And the ninth was the ninth, right?
It was the you got 8 2/3 or something like that.
That's really good.
I thought it was like 7 2/3 or something like that. He was in the 8th. I thought he was in the 9th inning, but
I thought he was almost through 8. I think it was like on the last out of the 8th inning, and he just.
What do you guys drinking?
Joe, do you want to? Well, I was gonna wait until Joe. I like this so much. So again, I've been waiting to drink with Joe this one since the 4th of July. By the way,
4th of July.
So Joe, I think went away for a couple of weeks on the podcast, and then in August he took the month off. So I had to sit on these forever.
That's how
forever.
And let me tell you what. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is again Illuminati Brews. Dude, this is
this is the Illuminati. Okay,
yes.
okay.
It's a Chris, would you call this? This is not a sour.
I thought it was a seltzer.
I think it is a seltzer, but it tastes so much different than seltzer.
Seltzer with pineapple. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's you're right. It is seltzer. It says right there. Seltzer with pineapple, coconut, cherry, pistachio, and. Is that lactose? Is that what it's trying to tell you?
Lactose is like milk, like whatever you find in milk.
They milk the animal right into there.
That is indeed lactose. Interesting.
What do you think, Joe? It's gonna take. I think it takes.
You can milk anything with nipples.
Honest to God, it's delicious.
I was on TV last night.
It's a little. Because of the pineapple.
Oh yeah.
You get the pineapple without that like sour bite.
Yeah.
It just does enough to bring you in, and then the coconut and everything else comes over.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pretty tired. Like this feels like that one Friday night podcast where you guys were dead and it was me and Chris holding on for dear life. But hitting that shotgun, I'm ready to go.
Nice.
So I will. Okay, so I didn't have dinner last night, so we just drank from like 6 to
1
midnight,
o'clock.
1 o'clock. Went to bed. Had to be up today. So went home. Shouldn't say went to bed. I got myself a Countryside skillet. I had to do it.
Where'd you find that at, Joe?
I had to go to the Golden Apple, the only place.
Did you go on your own? Did you take an Uber there, or did you?
No, they deliver.
No, Sarah drove me.
Oh,
I came home and I was like, "Hey, I'm hungry. Are you hungry?" She's like, "I guess." I go, "Let's go. Let's
You
go
should got
pick
White
up the
Castle.
food at Golden Apple."
Do you know what's nice about, not to cut your story off, but do you know what's nice about the Golden Apple is they are quick as all can be.
Oh yeah, I when I looked on DoorDash at last night, it was going to be 67 minutes to get delivered.
Oh, wow.
As soon as I hit pickup, it was 15 minutes. I was like, I got to wait to. It's going to take me longer to get there than it will be to get the food. So did that. Went to bed probably 4 a.m. Woke up this morning at 8 because today was big wedding day stuff, like getting all things starting.
8 a.m.
Started
God,
signing everything, making invoices are going to be coming in and all that stuff. Everything's getting solidified. But I felt like shit all day long until this beer.
Yeah.
I can't even kid you. I have felt so miserable all day. As soon as I had a couple sips of the shandy, I wanted to go nice in. This is another nice one. I'm like, God damn it! I got to be up and teach a class in the morning. I was like, I'm just gonna call it like 11:30 midnight, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Oh no!
I feel so good again.
It's insane. I was thinking. So I got up at 9 today, and I misread some text messages from Chris and Pat, like an idiot. And I was also.
I'm not gonna lie. When Pat said that Gavin was picking him up, I thought that would like clue in to me and you going out to the suburbs and working out.
I'm an idiot.
That's what I assumed you guys were doing anyways.
I 100% agree. So I woke up at I was so tired. I've been running on 6 hours of sleep, and I got to bed probably about 2:30 last night. I'm up at 8:30, 8:45, and I've had cat duties all week. And so that means I gotta feed, I gotta clean, and then the apartment's not like dirty, but like the cat's got like things all over the place, and I didn't want like Lauren and her mom to come home to like with dishes everywhere, so I cleaned the whole in like 10 minutes. I'm running around
clean up,
and I'm like, and so I saw Pat say, "Oh, I thought you guys were gonna work out," and then that key to my head said, "Okay, so Pat's he's doing something, he needs some time, so then just work out here, and then you pick him up, and then we can go." And then so I got all this stuff cleaned. I got out at 9:15 to go for a run. I run to the trail. I do 3 miles out, and so then it's going to be like 2.75 out. So it's like 2.75 back. And I'm like, I felt pretty good. I was getting real tired, and by the time I got back to like 3.5, my legs, I literally could not force myself to run anymore. So I had to walk. I walked like a mile, Chris. I was so embarrassed for myself. It was miserable.
I walked for about a good quarter mile on my run. It was just like I was running at like an 8.5 minute pace, and I was just dead. That also I hadn't eaten anything in over 24 hours, so I was like, okay, well, I'm either gonna faint here and nobody's gonna know where the hell I'm at, or I just walk it for a few minutes.
I kind of felt the same way, Chris. Like I thought legitimately I could just die in these woods and no one would know.
Okay, Chris, we had because you talking about running reminded me of this. Yesterday, it was me, you, when we left Metro, Sarah and her friend were driving with us.
Yep.
Her friend's doing the Bucktown 5K. We were talking, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about like, what's your mile or something like that. Do you recall what her mile is?
She says she runs 8, but she could if there's like a competitive nature to it, she can push herself to like 7.5.
I thought you said a sub 7 minute mile.
No, there was some girl that they have on their field hockey team that runs like a 5-minute 30 mile or something.
Okay. I was absolutely blown away by that.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
The best I've ever done is under 6. It's like just barely, like 5:59.
Get the
it was most miserable.
I've seen Peter almost collapse on a treadmill trying to get under 6.
Is that just a single mile kind of thing? Like a mile sprint? Okay.
No, Pierre's done 2 miles, like 2 6-minute miles in a row.
I've gotten to 12 miles. Or 12 minutes for 2 miles, but that was not fun.
Yeah, I think the closest I ever got was when we did the Bucktown 5K a couple of years ago.
That was so insane. It was like a 6:30 we were doing.
Yeah.
What are we doing? No, so then I got back, and I just went straight to the cold shower and just sat there like, I'm going to die. This is impossible.
Yeah, I had to take a shower last night before I went to bed.
It makes sense. And then
So before or after the meat sweats you had?
That was after the country skillet.
No meat sweats.
So
just a regular.
So then I got to, we're working all day, and I'm just sitting. I'm not hungover. I'm just exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. We got food, and then I've just I want to go to bed. Like I don't want to do this. I just want to go to bed. That's all I want to do is it's honestly all the 6 hours a night. Like you have to get 8 hours. There's nothing about it that's not, you have to get 8 hours. But that huge long stupid story was I was running thinking I love going out and I love like Lottie's was so much fun, but it's like how does no one come up with a beer or some type of alcohol that gives you that fun where you're just not miserable the next day?
There is a beer. It's called Beer Plus. Too soon.
Too soon.
That's got to be like. That's got to be. I mean, isn't that what drugs are though? Like in some facet, like maybe it's not a liquid, but
yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know what you would.
Do you lose? Is there like so? I've never done drugs. Is there like do you lose the inhibition? Like
I think cocaine you probably would, right?
That's what I was wondering. Yeah,
yeah. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You're revved up and then you're gonna crash, but then you're gonna wake up probably not hungover. I don't believe. Maybe you want more cocaine.
But I hear that waking up after cocaine, like because you're overstimulated, so the next days are kind of not good. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what like what's his face Theo Von had said that like the coming down off cocaine's not good.
Oh, I do recall something like that. Yeah. But I that's the thing. I mean, there's so many drugs out there, and I know so little, but about it. I don't know anything about any of them.
Hey, if our druggies out there, our druggie fans, if if there's a drug that lowers your inhibition like alcohol, but no hangover, just shoot. I mean, if it's meth, let us know.
Please send us an email at thesnpodcast@gmail.com.
Or DM us at the podcast SMP on Instagram and Twitter. I got lazy this week. I haven't put a clip out yet, and I feel bad about it. And I haven't done any posts today, which is silly. But I also have not had I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Probably over the last 48 hours, I've probably had a phone that's worked probably 6 hours.
Nice.
I mean, you only have an iPhone 5, so you have limited capability.
Can somebody? I hope maybe we get somebody who works at Apple, an engineer at Apple. Why do some chargers work and not all chargers work for your Apple iPhone?
Because your phone is like 10 years old.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I have 7 chargers at my uncle's office.
Do the ones that work are they authentic Apple chargers?
Yes,
like
exactly.
The ones you bought off Amazon?
Yeah, 100%. Well, no, I do have like the ones that come in. The Lightning ones don't work for this. Yeah. The Lightning Apple ones that have come in don't work for this.
I don't know. No idea.
The mysteries of Apple. If somebody went, you know what I think it is?
Steve Jobs is still fucking you from the grave, baby.
Yeah.
Conspiracy thought, boys. They do it so they force you to upgrade.
Yeah,
like it's all like computer.
I mean, they don't
it's
buy
a software update. It has to be.
I mean, they don't even sell they don't even give you your charger with your phones anymore.
No,
the new ones. Yeah,
you don't get a charger with your phone.
It's supposed to be like an eco thing that they don't.
It's an eco thing, yeah, and they get to cut down on the size of the box, and it's like, bullshit. It's a bullshit. You just don't want to.
Then you lose a charge, and you got to buy new chargers.
Boosting your profit.
Wait till they change that port, and then you got to buy all your old chargers. You got like all 40,000 of them. They're not going to work anymore. Well, they went from the long rectangle thing to the Lightning port. There's going to be another one.
I think Europe's going after their asses for that shit.
I was just about to say, and Android doesn't have this issue because they're great people. They use USB-C.
Yeah, that's what they want them to do in Europe. Like Apple got sued or by the EU to do that.
No, but here's the thing.
The UK is filing a lawsuit against them because of
they want them to use USB-Cs and
exactly,
which they should. Get your shit together, Apple.
Exactly.
No, but
and give us our chargers back. Stop making us buy them separately.
Appreciate that, Chris. No, I'm being serious. I think it's a software upgrade. Like how they use software upgrade to destroy your battery life. I'm sure that because I have a charger that worked. I had to get an upgrade or like the software update. The next day the charger didn't work.
I do remember this. Yes,
Peter. They have a list of who still has like iPhone 6s and less, and you're probably like one of the 3 people that's on it.
I know we're trying to be environmentally friendly.
That lives in North America for sure.
I'm not a capitalist. I don't need to buy a new phone every year. Right?
Steve Jobs was like, fuck this kid.
You're getting on me.
Steve Jobs is like, fuck Peter McGraw. I'm gonna fuck with him all day long.
Can I ask? Is anybody else hot? Is it hot down here? Or is it just me?
I can turn on the AC if you want.
It's a little nice down here.
What Joe? You're a little bit of a sweater. Are you? Is it just me? Is the alcohol sweat's getting to me already?
No.
You're getting hot and bothered because your phone won't charge.
I am feeling fantastic after these beers. I can't tell you how miserable I have felt all day long, and now I feel fantastic.
Me too. I'm not
even my stomach feels better, which
Joe's
is such a
Joe's
wild
hips
thing.
are getting warmed up, lubricated right now.
I did some stretching last night.
He was killing it on the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what.
He's working his bachata all weekend for the Mexican Independence Day.
I felt real good.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Chris, I was ripping it up on that like front area, like I forget what it was. Was it
like after that wine fest at Lincoln Park Zoo?
that's exactly what it felt like. Yep.
It was good. It was a good one.
Didn't give a shit about anybody walking in. I'm like, this is where I'm dancing.
This is my area.
My spot.
The only problem, and I think Mike actually listened to this podcast. So Mike, there's no offense to you, buddy, but Mike was a little bit of a lump on a log.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to get to cutting the rug, and then as soon as he left, me and Joe and Brian, I mean, there was no rug left.
The energy changed. The energy changed.
There's a lot of heat there, Pat. Hey, Pat, actually, where did Katrina go this weekend?
She went.
Somebody asked me that, and I had no idea.
She went to her hometown tonight, and then tomorrow she has a baby shower for her one friend that's having a baby in lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah, come back on Monday.
Did she take the car, or how did she get out there?
Yep, took the car.
Nice.
Left here, Pat stranded.
I'm Miss. Someone's driving Miss Daisy, and I miss Daisy this weekend.
Pat's got his unicycle.
I had Gavin Cash show for me to work, and I had Chris McGraw show for me home from work. So
It must be nice.
life's going good.
It was nice.
We had a deep conversation about nothing. It's like Seinfeld.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys actually? Chris never has a conversation when we.
We had a little chat on the way home. Nothing groundbreaking. We had a little, friendly, polite
I say how it is, Chris.
chit chats.
Don't want to chat with me, huh?
He sees you every day. He doesn't see me once a week.
All right, ladies. Let's get into current events. Anything that struck you this week?
Yeah, I had two things.
I think Pat had two.
Yeah.
I was too busy with a filing
Work.
deadline that I did not have a chance to look.
I have a grind my not a grind my gear, but I have one that I thought was kind of ridiculous, and
Here's the first one.
Go for it, Pat. Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Peter.
Pat. You can go ahead, Pat.
The first one was, I don't know if you guys caught this story, that in Oklahoma,
great state.
Oklahoma.
a semi-truck and a box truck were involved in a highway accident.
Nice.
Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
That's good.
However,
That's always good.
the contents of one of the trucks spilled out onto the highway, and the contents of said truck were sex toys and tubes of lube.
Oh, nice.
And evidently one of the news crews was in a helicopter, and the guy in the studio was like, "Can you tell us what's all over the road there?"
No.
And the guy's like, "No, I can't tell you."
But why? Okay, so that's
That's just a bunch of dildos strewn across the road.
And what's the big deal? That he's just people. But what?
Just
you can see the image there.
There's a
We'll
bunch
post
of
this story on podcast S&P on Twitter.
There's a bunch of dicks on the road.
One could say that highway got fucked that day.
Come on, Chris.
They actually,
Give me some. There we
the
go.
line,
Nice, Joe.
here's a line that the guy said. Reporter Jim Gardner described the scene from the helicopter. This is a semi that overturned and lost its load here.
But I'm bump. No, that's good. That's a funny one. But also, I don't get why are we so uptight? We can talk about sex toys.
'Cause we're-
It
'cause-
happens.
'cause
People
we're-
are buying these things. There's a
'cause
truckload.
Because we're Puritans, we're from the Puritan culture.
Get over it.
Yeah.
We don't even show boobies on TV.
free
We're not as
sex,
progressive as Europe.
Free.
Second story.
Free the nipple.
Yep.
So, Arch Manning is a very big recruit that has been recruited by a lot of schools.
He's going to Texas, no?
He's going to Texas.
Tejas.
Do you know how much Texas spent on his recruiting visit when he came to Texas?
I did see this article and I did see the headline for it, but I'm not going to say it.
Could you tell me what his, as someone who's,
He's a quarterback.
depth-
He's the nephew of
I
Peyton
know
Manning.
who
and
he is and what he does, but what was the experience? I mean, have you heard about this? Was his experience
I'm a little-
newsworthy prior to this?
His going. I mean, it was a big deal about where he was going to go to school. So his recruiting visit, they came out with how much Texas spent on his recruiting visit.
So it's probably like parades, like airfare.
Yeah. What did that entail? Do
So
you
him
know?
going to the visiting campus and then whining and dining him and his family about like, hey, you want? It was him and other people, but like he was the main person. Like they had they threw events.
Can you
and
imagine?
they're really showing off the
If-
school.
What if you were lucky enough to be a part of his like recruiting like pitch?
Yeah. So they spent $238,000 on his recruit.
Oh my God.
And their whole class, they've spent over $600,000 on this recruiting class.
That's what's wrong with college, and those kids get paid nothing. They're now be able
Now
to
they
use
get
their
paid.
no, they don't. They get to use their likeness, but they're not getting paid to play football.
True, but they're good. Maybe they make it on your license. So, especially when they come out with the next ESPN game.
The
NCAA game. Sorry,
I get that, but at the same time, it's like, do you know why they spent $238,000?
because he's worth
Billions.
50 times that in the revenue.
Billions in what he could do for them.
I don't mean to jinx the kid, but like if this kid is one bad injury away from like, I mean, it's so hard to make the NFL, which everybody thinks he's going to do.
Yeah.
But it's like he's one bad day or a trip. I mean, it's so hard to get to that level. It's absolutely ridiculous. This poor kid has all this pressure on him like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I just thought it was a crazy
That's a
amount
good
of
way
money.
to put it.
I mean, it's unheard of to have, the father, 2 sons. I mean, even the third one.
No, the father, his dad actually is not a quarterback. It's his 2 uncles.
Well, yeah,
are quarterbacks.
Archie. Well, so Archie's dad was a receiver who got hurt.
Yes, and sorry, I meant to say I guess that would be his grandfather,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Grandfather. You
Yep.
know, the whole Manny. I mean, that is a ridiculous bloodline. You're going 3 generations there so far. I mean, with Archie
He'd be the
now,
third,
he'd be
yeah.
the third, and he's performing at an incredible level. But I mean, it's so hard to make the NFL to begin with.
You know, you got to think about too is like football is a hell of a fucking.
I mean,
It's gonna rack your brain, and wouldn't he just want to? He could probably go work for any of his uncles and make $200,000-$300,000 a year working at one of their foundations
Just
or
put
one of
him
the
on
business.
just put him on the Manning cast,
Yeah,
baby.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, maybe,
and now he's
yeah.
gonna go
I mean,
rack his brain for.
Kick what?
I mean, he probably. I mean, I'm sure he's got to enjoy it, right? You
No,
can't
no,
be
I get that, but
good
in
and
my
do it that
head, I'm thinking
long,
like, when you're that wealthy, like
oh yeah.
at that point, like, is it worth? You see these dudes.
I would argue though that it's good for him to have something like that. With all the wealth that he has, to have a challenge and a goal, that is
Yeah,
one of the
but I
hardest
mean,
things to do at that
He
level.
could be a CFO and be challenged.
Are they still predicting
Not
that?
smashing his
Are they
brain.
still predicting
But
the NFL?
I get what you're saying too, Joe.
Are they still predicting the NFL will be gone by 2050?
No, I don't think so.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, that's because
They're talking about players, like parents were taking their kids out of football because of all the issues. Like
There will still be football. That makes way too much money for there not to be football.
I was just,
It's a
know that
lottery
they were
ticket
saying,
for
yeah.
certain demographics for sure. It's like the NBA. Like
But
I get that, but nobody wants to put. But
Listen,
like think about it.
yeah.
The South is not taking any warnings of head
they
concussions and all that
did.
shenanigans.
I know last year had the fewest amount of diagnosed concussions in like the last 20 years.
Technology's getting better. I mean, the helmets.
They make
That's
more,
true.
they make
Yeah.
more of the ink things and practice during the OTAs and stuff.
They're changing rules, so
and
that,
they got
you know,
that little weird cover
foam helmet?
Yeah, the foam top.
That's what I
of the
meant. Yeah,
foam.
the egg thing. They call it the egg. They call it the egg thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't just use that in the real game then.
AJ Hawk is notorious for saying like he kept his old helmet as long as he could.
So did Tom Brady.
Because that thing he could just crush people with his helmet. Like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. He used to use it as a weapon.
He also didn't last in the NFL more than like 4 years because of his body
Yeah.
broke down.
That is
See,
very
that's
true.
silliness. You know what it though too is like I get we're all like I remember playing flag football. You're competitive and you want to hit people, but these guys got to understand that like yes, this is a job, but you also like everybody's a human, and like if most people just this sounds stupid, but like common courtesy in the sense that like don't leave with your head into somebody else's head, like that would eliminate a lot of injuries.
I mean, I remember like playing just like tackle football when you're a kid, and like someone clips you, and you're like, I'm coming right back at this guy, and I'm going to get him too.
Yeah, and it's like if we just take the step to not hurt somebody, like just take that step and say, okay, I'm not gonna try to hurt this guy, because a lot of the times the head-to-head stuff you can negate that. I mean, some of the leg stuff that happens, like you're just going for a tackle or whatever. But the head, like the targeting the head and stuff.
It's like when the safeties come in and the guy's getting wrapped up, like
Yes.
he's coming. He's coming in to wail on the guy.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I see. Some of these hits at the end of plays, and in my head I'm like, there's no need. Like, and I get it. It's whatever. It sounds pansy-ish, but there's no need for that stuff. And you're gonna save yourself, and you're gonna save that player unneeded damage.
Was Green Bay Minnesota the Monday night game last week?
No, that was Broncos Seattle.
What was were they one of the primetime games?
No, they were America's Game of the Week on Fox.
Okay. What was it was I think it was in that game though. I saw I forget who it was, but like you could hear this helmet just like whack against the guy, and it was like, oh god.
That was Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Was that one? Okay. Yeah.
There are a couple hits I've heard. And I'm like, God, that's just. And they say it's like a small car wreck every time somebody gets tackled.
I mean, what the worst is like when it's not so much like the helmet to helmet. It's like the helmet to the ground is like the worst. Like it's when your brain really gets
Oh, yeah.
jangled up.
We've all had those. You guys ever playing outside and just whacked your head against like the
Yeah, I
heart?
mean the whiplash is not fun.
Ooh. There are a few times where I've hit my head playing like we used to, but this is how dumb we were as kids. We would play football every single, like when the fall came, it would be me, Chris, and we'd have 3 or 4 other buddies. we would play tackle football. And if you ever been to Chicago with the bungalows, it's grass, your cement walkway up the stairs.
Did you tag on? Did you tag on cement, tackle on grass?
Yes.
No, it was full on. Was it?
No, we would tag on. Yeah, we would tag on cement. You either have to take them from the cement and tackle them on the grass, or you would tag them, or they would be down.
But how many times we just ended up on the cement, or you're in the side street, like the side street, like you would just fall into the side street,
or
like
you wail into a car,
or there's a tree in the middle, and you would just have to run around the tree.
That was the best. You use the tree as a pick, baby.
You pick and roll, baby.
We played so much flag football, or so much tackle football as kids that a guy, and this dude at the end of the corner hated that we would. Sometimes we would make the house before him the end zone, so we would never do go. But if the ball ended up on his, we'd have to go and get it. And he hated us so much that he put a fence up. Like he fenced his entire front line.
Iron rod fence.
Yeah, iron rod fence in front of his house.
Can you imagine just being that
petty?
Your life can't be fun, right? Like you're just that miserable a fuck that something as silly as that bothers you.
Oh yeah, like kids on your property for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I used to get yelled at for jumping fences sometimes, but then they put up a higher fence that was harder to jump, but I still jumped it.
No, yeah, I mean, but Katrina was telling us that we were playing a little bit of volleyball. We were doing like a cookout here, and we accidentally hit into the neighbor's yard, and Katrina's like, "You're never gonna back. You're never gonna back." And I'm like, "We're adults here. We can, go and get." The ball.
I didn't get why she was so defensive of that. That was weird.
But I'm just saying, but I'm sure she's just had your neighbors are probably not the nicest people. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not coming here to
Wisconsin,
steal.
you go into other people's yards, you get shot at, bro.
That could be.
I do think I was wondering that. Like maybe it's just because she didn't grow up in Chicago. Like here, houses are on top of each other, so it's like you have your house, the yard, and then usually a garage and alley.
Yeah.
I would say that's
you never
most
go.
properties.
I'm not going to go knock on the door and ask. I'm just going to go in, and if I see,
you just jump the fence, grab it.
I
and
live
then
by the don't
go
ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, you walk in there and then the backyard. Oh, I'm just coming to get my ball. That's it.
But we've all that's what it was. We all just grew up like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So my pet peeve. Well, kind of not a pet peeve. I don't know why I keep thinking it's a pet peeve, but like this just shocked the crap out of me.
Kids came on the front of his lawn today and they grabbed the ball.
How did you know? How did you know? Come on, Chris. Well, you got to be on that. But I'm bummed.
No, that was not worthy of it.
Oh, Chris, you are not good at that. You're gonna.
I wish there was a boo button instead of the clapping button because I boo you so hard right now.
I could add a boo if you want.
Yeah, because you just need to be booed.
Do we have more than four options?
Oh, we could bust one out, and we could also switch it around. Like you could switch in. Like Chris could go and put a new one in right now if you want.
Got it.
I'm not trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah, well, doing a little work on the podcast. That must be new, huh?
I definitely need that boo button. Like this clapping right now is not working for me.
I like it. Okay, so
It's pissing
as
me
we
off.
know, and we did last week, we did a moment of silence
Boo!
for the Queen, and people. So she's laying in rest or whatever, and there's this whole formal fancy shenanigans.
Oh, is it grinding your gears that people wait 14 hours
100%.
to visit?
Who in their right mind? You have to get in line at 2 a.m, and you're going to do the amusement line Z up and down for 14 hours. Also, how are you not needing to pee? How are you not needing to
You got a
eat?
stadium caddy, baby.
Like, this is insane. That's what people are doing in England right now. 14 hours to not see the Queen, not touch the Queen's body, not do it, just to see the casket. Throw a casket up on the screen. What's the difference at that point? It kills me how weird people are sometimes.
I think it's interesting that it bothers you so much.
I mean, is there anything? And my question is there anything in this world that you would do? You would wait 14 hours for? You could give me $100,000, and I'm contemplating it.
Well, I'd wait 14 hours for $100,000.
Yeah,
Very
easily.
I will say this though, and this is not a slight, but you've never been a line guy. Like, and it's a very your reasoning is very rational. Hey, there's this bar.
That's true.
It has an enormous line. I could wait in it and then eventually get in, or I could just go to this other bar and do the same thing.
Unless it's Pub City, then we wait forever.
Your view, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm kind of with you on this.
That's true.
There's so much more that you can do.
I just feel like 14
in that time.
hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
that is.
That
I mean,
is.
Standing, and you're doing the little two steps up. Okay, wait. 2 steps up. Wait. 2 steps up.
I guess they're not worried about COVID being transmitted. Huh?
You gotta
That's a
think.
good call too, Pat.
You gotta think though, like I wonder. I'm thinking like, what would be an equivalent to that here in America? To be like, if Trump died.
It'd be like if Kennedy died, they did something, didn't they?
I'm trying to think.
Presidents lay in rest when they in the Capitol when the same things happen. I don't know if the lines are that long, but they do generally put the presidents that walk by them.
But it's also a statement to like how committed and
they did it with the one judge that
or
died.
like how crazy. I don't want to say crazy. I'm trying not to be mean, but like how. Yeah, crazy people will be like about the Queen, the fandom for the royal family, or anyone.
Does anybody recall
who here loves someone that much that they do?
That's what I'm saying. But there's nothing. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything in this world that is 14 hours worthy.
Does anybody recall the lines for Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Because they put her out didn't they somewhere that she walked by?
Come on. There's no way she was. I mean, you could have gone and it would have been a loop, like an amusement ride.
There's definitely.
You guys want to get back in line?
I think there was. I mean, I remember somebody. I remember being a kid. There was somebody that they had in the Capitol that was like people were there forever waiting.
Think of any comic book convention. How long some of those people wait in line to meet celebrities just to get a spot and then
a picture.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's true.
I guess it's worth it to you. Then more power to your time. But like for me, and that's not worth my time.
That's what I'm saying. So, is there anything in this world you honestly like? If you could meet Dave Matthews, Pat,
no,
would you wait 14 hours?
No. I would just I'd wait for a couple, $100,000, and then I could just buy like a VIP meet and greet, and that'd be easier.
Joe, if you had the opportunity to meet Stan Lee before he passed away, would you have waited 14 hours?
I don't think so. No, because you got to. Here's my thing too. It's like if it's anything like the situation with the Queen, you're walking up, you're saying your thing, and then you're going. They're shuffling you off in a second.
It's like waiting for Santa Claus line kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like to wait that long to do that. I don't know. I can't picture anything honestly.
Andrew WK, yay or nay? Waiting 14 hours.
I wouldn't have to wait 14 hours. That would never happen in my lifetime.
But also, like you're right. Like, is it just to say that you've done the experience that you're like, I was there?
Very well could be.
There's also another thing. Let me ask this: how many we've grown up in Chicago our entire lives? How many of you guys have just happenstanced into a famous person on the street?
I ran into Kerry Wood at Chipotle once.
Okay, so Pat,
we saw. What's the hockey player, Chris?
Patrick Sharp. We saw him at a bar.
Yeah, we didn't really talk. We didn't say anything.
I ran into Ryan Dempster in the bathroom. He told me he wasn't Ryan Dempster at Bub City.
He was definitely Ryan Dempster.
The Chicago Bulls player.
Yes, we had Feliciano behind us.
Schwarber was at Bub City too the one night.
Yeah.
We really run into him.
That's where that fucking guy just kept pushing us forward.
Windy City, Chicago, our fan favorite. We have met that guy or seen that guy so many times. If I met that guy in the street,
I'd punch him in the face.
Joe, Joe, New Year's, you told him how much you love him at Bub City.
I love how much it grinds Chris's gears.
I fucking hate that guy. It was clear as day that one time at Bub City.
Hold on.
If we could insert photo here of me with Ryan Cheverini on New Year's with Brian.
We could probably. If you send me that picture, I'll throw it in here real quick. I'll 100% put that in here.
I waited like
that guy gave us an unwanted encore at Bub City.
Well, okay, I waited like 20 minutes to meet him and take that photo just to send it to Chris.
Can we?
Joe's like time well worth it.
Okay, that might be one of those things. If it's a spite, maybe there's 14 hours in my life I could do something like that.
Oh God!
But no, okay. So let's just really we'll set the table. Is Ryan Cheverini is a like one of the morning hosts,
like a DZ list celebrity.
It's like Good Morning America in Chicago.
He's like a late afternoon or like late morning.
He's a morning guy. No,
he's a late morning, early afternoon.
He was a morning guy at the time, though, I believe.
And he's like popular with like the 60-year-old women, 60 to 70-year-old women.
And the McGraw sister.
Yes, she does love him. But so he would used to go to a bar that we liked, and they would let him sing when he came to the bar, and he was so bad,
garbage,
the worst. And one time
he was cat strangled.
He killed the entire vibe of the bar, and absolutely shut it down. And then he was leaving, and the bar was like, yes. Woo!
They were celebrating him walking off the stage.
He was so stupid.
Oh, you
mistook it for an encore.
You want more of me? Of course you do. Of course you do.
And so we came back, and everybody went like, oh.
And nobody, when he walked in the second time, nobody clapped.
Yeah, we all knew. We all knew not to do it again.
We're making that mistake again.
Hey, Pat, show me the Coors Light, Bubba.
You're not tricking me again, Ryan Cheverini.
Yeah, it was like, no, nobody make a sound.
Yeah.
Nobody make a sound. If he didn't,
Is he off? All right,
if you just be quiet, he'll walk away.
It's what's that one? Sorry, not to cut you off, Joe, but I think in Family Guy they do something like that where like they like turn off the lights and pretend like they're not there. They're like the one celebrity. So that
James Woods, right?
Yeah, so I was thinking James Woods too, but I wasn't sure. But they do like a skit on that, like if you just quiet, everybody quiet, he'll go away. And like that's how we all felt. About
I'm sure Ryan Severini is now at like Soundbar, and like Pierre's gonna go there one night and listen to some DJ, and then he's gonna come up and mix a set for like 5 minutes, and Pierre's gonna be in the same boat I was. It's gonna be like, fuck this dude.
It was very close. We got to Soundbar last night. Me and Brian if you guys did not intrude on our date night, we would have been at Soundbar last night.
I was contemplating going to Soundbar last night. I was like, should I just go late night tonight? Like, is that what I should do?
I saw you guys working it out. At like I knew at midnight I was dead, and I was like, all right, Pete, you just gotta get another hour and at this. And I saw you doing the shuffle.
I was talking.
The gears were turning
to Brian, and I was like,
I think Brian was in the same boat though. We'd been out for like 11 hours at that point.
I guess I didn't think about that either. Yeah, and I didn't. I mean, I'm glad I didn't, but I really was contemplating it. And Brian was the one that propped it up, though. He was like, "Oh
yeah."
He's like,
"No way! I thought it was you."
What are you thinking? And I was like, "I don't know. I really don't know." And I was like, "Would you want to go?" He's like, "Yeah, if you do." And I was like, "Okay," but it's also the way Brian does it, where it's like, I don't know. I do, but I don't. You know, he kind of plays coy.
I don't know. You know, it's only like 5 minutes from my place. It's really taking you out.
If you want to split the Uber.
I'm sure he was also contemplating that. Yeah.
Any bars in the northern, River North area, I'll take with you, Joe. Anywhere you want to go.
That dude got a subscription to like Uber or whatever.
Like Uber One or something.
Yeah, you get like 5% off. Do you think he's ever offered to pay for an Uber?
No.
Never.
He gets 5% off.
5%.
He took me in a Uber Black yesterday. I've never felt so important.
Uber Black.
The guy,
I thought I heard this. I thought I heard wrong. I was like,
he opened the car door and the guy went, "Hello, Mr. Hamilton. How are you this evening?" And I was like, I feel kind of special.
I got to ride in an Uber Black twice in the same day for work when I was at the place downtown, and I was like, this is a ridiculously high level experience for $10 more. I mean, it is you grab an Uber and you don't know what you're going to get. It's a real crapshoot, but you order that Uber Black, and I have never felt more pretty in my entire life. More pretty and special. It was just, they treat you a different level.
I remember getting one of the pandemic ones where like there's nobody taking Uber. I got one I ordered a regular Uber and a Black game. He's like, I can't get anything better. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Pat didn't get the 5-star treatment.
I didn't get the 5-star treatment.
Get your ass in the car.
I got the very nice car though.
Yeah, he knew what Pat was paying.
Pat
so he's like, yeah. This isn't the Uber Black experience.
No. But that car, I swear to God, guys, that dude was freezing meat in this car. Like, it was so cold.
He had killed somebody. Was insane.
He didn't want the smell to come out. That's how cold it was.
Speaking of drivers, you guys see the story about Erin Andrews, who said that she was covering the Green Bay. Minnesota. She was driving up to Green Bay, I guess, and she was like at a conference call, and her driver fell asleep on the way from Chicago to Green Bay, like on the road.
Oh shit!
She took an Uber?
No, it was I think it was her driver. Whoever her driver was,
service or something.
Yeah. So she said she had to wake the guy up, and she was like terrified, like the whole rest of the way.
Wow,
that's pretty nuts.
That's insane.
That's
a better current event than all that other shenanigans you had for me.
Was that recent?
Yeah,
I'm just
I'm just kidding. Thank you for bringing topics to this, because Chris and Joe definitely did not.
I told you. It was a busy week.
I have stuff, but I knew Pat was going to interrupt, and I couldn't. I didn't
Joe, tell me what's going on in your week.
I mean, Pierre's interrupting.
You weren't here last week. Where were you at Cleveland? Tell me how Cleveland was.
Didn't even get the legendary margarita.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're still a little hot.
This is where the boo button would come in.
Yes, give him a clap, just because that's a reverse clap. That's what I'm saying right now.
Wait, what is this for?
For not getting the legendary margarita.
Oh yeah, I just totally did not know this.
We've always talked about this.
We've only mentioned it numerous times in the Snapchat, and you took 24 hours to respond to it.
Oh man,
you didn't love us.
Hold on, can I tell you? I had no reception there when I sent that Snapchat. I don't think it got out till like 4 or 5 hours later.
Nice.
I had no reception for most of that drive.
Oh, so you were setting that for lunchtime.
Yeah, we
Oh,
drove.
then yeah, that doesn't. It's not as good. But I
But
get it.
also, that drive up, one of Sarah's coworkers she ended up getting strep. But in the moment, we were 3 hours into this 5-6 hour drive. She goes, "What if I don't even want to go to this thing. I don't want to fucking go to this thing." And she knows it. And
Thank God Sarah doesn't listen.
I'll be honest, I don't know if she wanted to go to it either. But 3 hours into this drive, she goes, "What if we have COVID? What if?" Because her friend, she didn't know at the time if her friend tested positive for COVID or anything. She also wasn't getting reception in fucking bumfuck nowhere. Because why would you? Who
bringing down
wants
the whole wedding, Joey. That's what's happening.
Who
Nice.
wants to live out there?
Super spreader.
And I was like, fuck. I was just upset that I was 3 hours into this when this became a possibility that we had a legitimate reason not to go anymore. I mean, I'm and I was like, I'm 3 hours into
Joe's
this
like,
drive.
damn it, why did I think of that?
It's going to take me longer to drive home, and I don't know if I'm willing to put in that 3 hours for that reward, So, yeah. But,
So how was Cleveland?
it was all right. I mean,
I've
it
been to
was
Cleveland. Downtown's nice. Everything else is a little sketchy.
I was in the burbs. Of Cleveland, so I literally stayed in a house. We got there late that night, did the wedding stuff that day, and then we were out Sunday morning.
How we doing, Chris? What's wrong?
No, Pat's asking for a time. It looks like 50 minutes or so.
Oh, okay, we're getting close. We should probably wrap. We got to get into this thing. Chris, hit me.
I've been headbutting everything over here.
Headbutting or
Yeah,
what?
This one?
No, it's Joe's making all the noise. Don't worry about
No,
that.
this is this one.
Yeah,
for the
get it.
music.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was way too close to the mic. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back for week 2, week 1. Not good for the boys, Chris, Pat, and Joe. Chris, you can let that play, baby.
No,
bring it down a little bit.
You fade it out. You fade it out like the music.
I like a little bit. It gets me.
Where's the boo button on this thing so I can boo you?
Why is that blinking now?
That's still playing.
It. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to worry about this next week. Nobody else but me will be in control.
I am in control.
I am your
The
captain.
fans love it. Woo!
I am the captain. Oh, Pat, you suck.
Yeah, ruined it, Patrick.
That's the point. So you don't stop pushing buttons.
Can you bring my music back, please?
No, let's keep going here.
Thank you, Chris. Lower just a little bit. Thank you, friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here for week 2. Week 1. Our predictions. Chris's Tig Ol Bitties, awful.
They were
I
I got 2 right. The last one.
Oh, was it 2 out of 3?
Yeah.
Good for you, friend. But the parlay that me and Chris did not hit, pissed me off.
Why don't you tell them about that Tampa Bay Dallas
Why
game
are
you
you
bet on?
turning it off? It's nice to have a little bit of the music in the background.
Okay.
Because no one can hear it.
No, what do you mean this? That's why you talk. We're talking over it. Go ahead, Joe. Hit me with it.
Oh, I was just going to say, if we're going to play the music, yeah, let's turn the music down just a little bit. Because I'm having difficulty hearing.
Okay. Oh, okay. I felt like I was hearing everything perfectly. See, listen, I like a little. Is this just me? Just
I
ask
like
me.
that. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
just-
You like a little bit in the background?
I
or no?
love the music. I love the music.
I'm not a fan of the music.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
neither
all right.
am I.
Okay, so it's a 2-2. All right, we'll have to.
Tie goes to the runner.
Who do we?
And I'm not sure who the runner is in this situation.
That's a good one, Chris.
Chris, hit it for yourself, boy. Hit it for yourself.
Give you applause. Nice. All right, who do we go to? Who do we go to ask for that? Because you're right. If you get 2-2, it's not the Peter McGraw show here. So
Flip a coin.
yeah, we could go that route. All right, but how about we? Chris, you can turn it off if you want. If you guys don't like it.
with it.
If you guys don't like it, I feel bad. I don't want to be telling you how to live your lives. All right. So week 1, terrible. Absolutely terrible. On my part, Chris's part, Pat, I think you were a little bit ahead of us. Not great.
I was off.
Did you hit? How was your week 1?
I was going to say my lock of the week.
Yeah,
representing that.
yes, it was. So lock of the week off. Chris coming in hot with the titties.
He had the over
2
on
out of 3.
the Philly
Which was
Detroit game.
that hit. I think even over half, Chris. That was such a good call.
Who was surprised the Bears won? Because I made a
I
statement.
think everybody was.
I mean, the monsoon played a big factor, I think.
I think it did too. I personally think. I think everybody's asking.
But I think the Bears were a very disciplined team, and the 49ers made a lot of mistakes in that game.
So you were saying, Joe, were you surprised or not surprised? Because you did. I'm not to cut you off real quick, but just to say you said that you thought the Bears could make the playoffs. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a wild and crazy game. There was a lot of ripping and tearing.
Joe, did you watch any of the game? Did you watch a minute of the game, Joe?
Joe, I thought you got cut off, so I literally felt bad, so I wanted to get you in there. I didn't know you didn't actually have anything going. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like
guys,
that.
Dude, that monsoon was crazy. I mean, it totally affected the game. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's so funny is I thought Joe was actually like he was commenting on the game, and then I'm like, this sounds oddly familiar to Rippin' and the Terran, and.
Oh boy!
All right, so week 1 not great for us.
Sports.
That's the 4th time you said, Peter. Let's move on.
Are you kidding me?
Why are you backsassing?
Let's move on.
We've established that week 1 was not good.
Should we move on?
Hey, is week 1 not good?
No, but okay, I do have a question.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Oh, okay.
God, Joe, I'm just kidding.
Week 1 is always a crazy week in football. Is it not? Or I feel like there was a lot of upsets. There was a lot of things that were just.
There's a lot of unknowns. You don't know what the team's really going to be like at all, and you're just kind of. Some teams come out really prepared. Some teams are like they shit their bed, like the Packers.
So is this just a crazier year where, like, a lot more? I don't know. Like some years you come in, everybody knows what's going to happen. It's very consistent. People perform like they should or expect.
There's probably more player movement this offseason than a lot in typical offseason. Like big players move. Teams.
Wasn't there longer trade times this season for the first time or something like that?
Just there was a lot of teams that moved around.
I think it might. Yeah, it was something weird, but no. But I get what you're saying, Joe. But you're right though. Like think about it. The Broncos should have. Everybody thought Seattle was going to get destroyed.
The Broncos had 2 goal line fumbles.
Yes. So you're right.
And they attempted a 64-yard field goal.
Russell Wilson.
Quarterback for Denver.
Yes.
He got booed. I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the Seahawks traded him away. So I don't get that one.
What do you guys think of him? Because he got a lot of money, did he not? Or
He
some
got
people are
$250
saying
million.
Some people are saying
Well,
he
he
got
wanted
too
to
much.
trade, Pat.
Yeah, I'm saying
He asked for the trade out of Seattle, so that's why Seattle's pissed. I would be pissed too.
I mean, he's a good player, but that team has
It's
been
like the Bears
mismanaged
trying to move
too.
to Arlington Heights. Some people don't like that. And when
That
you're
was the last podcast. We need to get to that one again.
Do you
Move
expect
on.
them to do
Joke
well
you.
this season?
the Broncos are supposed to be playoff. Well, that's a lie.
Their coach gave me a lot of Nagy vibes watching that game, though. Like a lot of Nagy vibes.
Yeah, it was not coached.
He mismanaged clock. He did some weird things on offense.
Okay. Again, so week one, not a great week for us.
The only other football thing I know about is about Notre Dame getting beat by Marshall.
Yo, the Thundering Herd.
Yeah.
They won
Why
today,
do you
Joe.
know that, Chris? My man.
Looked it up.
Dude, he watched the movie.
Yep.
We Are Marshall.
Oh, that's a good movie, actually, yeah. And then they all died.
I was chanting that.
Jesus.
All right, Chris.
I was chanting that last weekend, and for some reason, it didn't make her family happy at all.
Oh, poor babies. All right,
Did
Chris.
they all go to Notre Dame?
No,
Just Sarah?
Sarah,
Then tell me-
Steven, and but not Jen.
Yeah, then tell them to get over it.
Yeah.
They didn't go there. They don't get to.
They
don't get
also
to-
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they
But
didn't.
she did work there.
But they're also very religious, and that's a very religious college, buddy.
Yeah, there's a lot of religious
It is.
colleges that don't mean they're good at football.
It's true. Is Notre Dame good at football? I really don't know the answer to that.
Well, they're very hyped usually, and then they don't live up to expectations of their general MO.
You know, it's going to be interesting not to make this. But I want to get over to Chris's titties. But
Nice. Nice.
Is
that what you're calling them now? Instead of Tig Ol Bitties, just titties, just straight up titties?
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I like
But
Chris's
sorry,
titties.
I interrupted your train of thought there.
As we've interrupted you all day, so you get one. You get one, Joe. Just really quickly, I think it's going to be interesting to see where Notre Dame ends up conference-wise, because you got everybody going to the SEC, the Big Ten, all that, and Notre Dame is independent, and I think they're going to at some point have to choose.
They think SEC, Joe or Chris, for them?
I would
That would
ACC
be
or
great.
Big Ten. I would assume.
Not SEC now.
I don't think the SEC.
Oh,
No way.
they
They
would-
couldn't. They couldn't
Yeah.
handle the SEC.
They couldn't fight. They
They railed battle that every year.
Here's
Yeah.
another bit of upset of sports stuff I know. Apparently, Michigan had a 3-game. It's like a series.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we're back.
Oh, baby, we live.
Chris, give us some titties.
Chris, why don't you give us your Tig Ol Bitties for the week? For
All
week
right.
2 NFL action.
We got our favorite team, our 1-0 Chicago Bears.
Hot damn.
Make these clip notes, yeah.
This will be pretty simple. Green Bay is 9-0 outright against the spread after a loss under coach Matt LaFleur, and the Bears are 3-12 in their past 15 games against NFC North opponents. The spread is 10.5 in that game.
Oh, now it's 10.5.
Or 10. I'm sorry. The over-under is 41.5.
Yeah. So take the Packers in the 10 is the conclusion
Yes. There's one more.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers will say, "I own you" again this year?
Daddy Rogers, he's the mayor of
there.
Chicago.
I think he's going to do it for sure if he like rushes for a touchdown or anything for sure. I think he's living it and he's enjoying that. I think he's enjoying the feedback he got from that, and he will do it again.
Pat, enough. Shut the fuck up.
So
Chris,
the next
back to your Tig Ol Bitties,
The next
please.
one is the Cardinals have won each of their past 6 road games outright when they were an underdog. Just one shy of matching the 80-81 Seahawks for longest such win streak in the Super Bowl era.
I wonder who their opponents were.
They are 6 or 5.5 point underdogs to the Raiders.
Ooh, okay.
I picked the Raiders in that game.
And
Sorry,
then-
just a quick question.
Yep.
I've always heard about Cleveland possibly doing well. Just a yes or no. Is Cleveland possibly looking good this year?
Maybe. Depends on if they ever get their quarterback back.
And he hasn't played football in a year and a half, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Gotcha.
And then the last one I got is the Rams at the Falcons. Since 2000, teams that are favored by at least 7.5 points in week 2 following a week 1 loss are 20-2 outright, but they are just 7-15 against the spread. So you pick the Rams to win, but you don't pick them to cover the 10 points.
Okay. So
Interesting.
Rams to win,
Rams to win,
Arizona to cover the.
Arizona to win.
Well, Rams
outright.
are not covering though,
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So the Rams to win, but not cover.
So Atlanta to cover then.
Arizona to win outright. They're 5.5 point underdogs. So you're picking Arizona to win in that game, and then
Green Bay to
you're
co-
picking
Green Bay to
cover
cover,
and win. Pretty much.
Okay. So Green Bay, Arizona, and the Rams.
Now everybody's favorite segment, the Joe C.
Lock of the century.
And I have all the
Of
games.
week.
I got all the games here, Joe. So if you want to, make
I've,
it easy for
I've
yourself
got
too.
my pick.
Oh, okay,
I've
great.
got my
Love it,
pick.
baby. Love it.
I was going to make the LA Rams, but yeah. So I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, the
Over
Bengals
the Dallas Cowboys.
over the Cowboys.
Joe, will that
That is
also
the-
be your Survivor pool pick?
How about them boys?
Oh, yeah. Do we have to talk about this? Or
Yeah, get in here, Pat.
Is this a real thing? Like, do I have to sign up for something?
I just pulled up the game. So
Joe does
Oh,
not need
okay.
another anything right
No,
now.
I just pulled up the game so I could see them in front of me. That's
Yeah,
all.
go ahead, Joe. Or Pat, can you give us a little
Yeah, so
synopsis
a
on what we're
little
doing?
Survivor pool action we're going to do from week 2 on. We're going to see which of us lasts the longest. Basically, you in your Survivor pool, you pick a team you think's going to win. You can't use them in a future week. If that team loses, you're out of the pool. So we'll see if we all make it to the end of the year or if who gets knocked out first and who lasts the longest.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm going to say my strategy here. I'm just going to go with the way I'm thinking, the LA Rams.
Joe's picking the
I
Rams.
I like that.
It's a good choice. So that means that Joe wins. If the Rams win, Joe will not be able to use the Rams in the future. And if they lose, Joe's out.
Okay, I got to write these down. I will text you guys this to make sure I got this. So I can get. I'm gonna have a lot of Twitters. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I'm gonna take a risk here. I might be. You know what? I could be wrong, but I feel like Green Bay is gonna come in. I like Chris's titties, and I'm gonna go with the Green Bay.
Picking Daddy
Packers
Rogers
over the Chicago Bears as my survivor. Chris or Pat?
Chris, you want to go next?
I'm going to choose the Packers as well.
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos over the Texans.
Okay, Chris. I'm sorry. Who'd you go with?
I went with the Packers as
Okay,
well.
Packers, Denver, LA Rams, Packers. Cool. All right. Well, hey, we'll see where we're at next week. And ladies and gentlemen, you can play along. Hit us up in the comments or hit us up on Twitter at Podcast SMP. We've got
send us your week
you.
3 Survivor.
Yeah. Seriously.
Unless you get to Twitter by tomorrow. I don't think you
I
will.
will. I will throw this out there, but yeah, let's get audience participation and let's do it for next week.
Raise your hands before you speak.
Here's the thing: we are up to 16 subscribers, but I feel like YouTube is pushing, or every week they're upping the game here. When I first started, it was 25. We needed 25 YouTube subscribers to get our YouTube name. Now we need 100. So, ladies and
100.
gentlemen, do us a
Nice.
favor. Just come on. Come subscribe.
Start the burner accounts, baby.
Okay, so we're good on the NFL, on the sports this week, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Let's end this beautiful podcast with a couple feel good. I really think the world needs a little bit of this happiness in their lives. And Chris, do you know what the secret to happiness is?
Money.
Could be.
You know what?
Cocaine, drugs,
Complacency.
This is ridiculous, guys.
Large family generation. Leading.
Big booty bitches.
Secret to happiness.
Chris's Tig Ol Bitties, the Josie Lockless Century of the Week.
Secret to happiness is.
Is it the S&P podcast?
Is it?
That's a good one. I like that. Give me some of that. Chris, give me an applause on that. Thank you. That was kind of
I got to turn it up.
Turn it up. Get it there. Thanks, Pat. The secret to happiness is practicing gratitude. Do you guys? Any of you guys do that?
I'm
No.
fucked.
I say thank you a lot.
But you know, like, so practicing gratitude means like waking up and just kind of throwing out your thank yous to the universe. Like, you know, thank you for another day. Thank you for the home I'm, you know, the roof over the top of my head, things like that. And just being honest with yourself. What are you happy for? What are you gracious for or thankful for?
I'll be thankful for when the universe lets that carrot get close enough that I can grab it and not have to worry about it anymore. It likes to dangle that little carrot in front of me every morning.
It's a deep, cheap statement.
You think which
It
one,
is.
Chris or
Chris's.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like it's like a.
Wait, where did my? Oh, there's
You know that chasing the carrot, but yeah, that's a hard thing to do in life.
Yep.
But yeah, but I've started the practicing gratitude because a lot of very smart people talk about how beneficial it is to you, and that you should normally look at and just recognize what you should be thankful for, because all we always usually do are complaining and moaning about how. I mean, we started this podcast. The first 10 minutes was just how miserable. In reality, we're pretty lucky.
It's funny. There's this guy. We just moved offices, and now we have like a front desk guy. And
That's rare. Usually it's a woman.
Yeah.
A lot of companies don't even have them anymore.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. But go ahead.
I'm
Sorry,
kind of
didn't mean to
surprised
interrupt.
in the anyways. But I'm always saying hello to. There's two guys at work, two different shifts, and you know who they are. But the guy introduced himself to me this week, and he goes, "You're always smiling." And I don't know what it is, but I see that guy, and I go, "He's so nice, and he's always so friendly." I just think this guy's he's just happy, and he's enjoying life, and it makes me think like, "Hey, life is pretty good. I got a good job. I'm getting married. Like." Got a roof over my head, very lucky. And I don't know, there's something about that guy that makes me think about it every morning.
That's awesome.
And
That's
he
great.
and this week he like introduced himself. He's like, "What's your name?" Like, "You're always smiling, you're always telling me good morning and saying hello." He's like, and he introduced himself, and I was like, "Oh, it's just weird. It's like there's something about him that just like cheers."
That's awesome to have somebody that reminds you to be happier and more cheerful. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this from a while ago. That,
But so yes, I have felt good.
yeah, I
Life-
forget
life is feeling
who
good,
was
and
I saying this
it makes me do
about,
it.
that is just always so positive and happy, and it makes me think, like, it makes me want to like get to that spot. Like, I wish I could be kind of like that, have that
Someone in your
I
life
think you
is
said
like
Charlie,
that?
right? Didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Pat. It's honestly, Charlie is just such a happy. I mean, he got let go from his job. I hope not don't think up, but he's lucky enough to find the job. But
he found a new job, and he found a
would
better
have never
paying
known.
job.
You
Good
would
for him.
You would have never known that he had lost his job. Like,
No.
that's just he's just such a nice guy and such a happy person that
He's a
you know,
very
it's
he's
positive.
a positive. Some would say innocent, but he's not. It's like
it's a choice. You get to
pure.
choose if you want to be.
If you want to
Yeah.
describe a person, he's pure. You know who he is through and through.
Yeah.
And he just enjoys life all the time.
And then I saw this is one of those things like where you just, it's kind of crazy, and you can only hope. Like, Pat's got a house here that, these people lived here for like 60 years, and you probably hope that, maybe they left some cash in a wall somewhere. But
Probably not.
in England,
Not yet.
a couple found 400-year-old coins in their basement worth
nice.
$250,000. They were tearing up their basement, and there was just a bag of old like coins from 400 years ago.
What? How long they?
The gold was. It's not even the coin. Like, the coin's actually worth a lot, probably too. But the gold itself is worth
Do you think
$250,000.
they're like?
Wow.
Do you think they're like? These guys told me this bathroom was remodeled. Clearly, they lied about it. But I'm okay with it.
A couple years ago, they found a lost prince or king in a parking lot.
Yes, they were built. Yeah,
They had no idea where he was buried. He was lost for centuries.
In Mexico, they are building a railroad, like a rail tracks, whatever they call that. They want to get to this like Aztec type like place for tourists and stuff. So they're trying to bring the.
I've been there.
Yeah,
so.
well, no, you haven't because they're building train tracks to it, so you can go.
Oh, he's
there.
been there. Don't you fuck with
Maybe
him.
some. I've
There's
been
other
to
places,
Mayans
but
around, too.
there's this new spot and so they're going through like this heart of this jungle, and as they're breaking, like they're destroying like trees and like digging up dirt, they're finding all this like stuff. Like they have to keep stopping. They just ended up in like an old like cemetery, like whatever they would call it, but a cemetery. They're just pulling up all these old bodies and like clay pots and stuff, and it's like it's crazy how much the jungle has just covered this whole area.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know it just looking from it, but once you start getting in there, you're like, holy crap! This used to be the spot of a civilization.
Yeah, that's wild. I feel like in America, all you do is tear down a wall, and then you find like the old shaving blades that people used to just slide in there. Do you know about that?
Or you get slapped with probably about 60 condoms in your face.
Yeah.
What did Pepsi? Didn't Pepsi discover like bra and panties behind the one wall we took apart?
Yeah, that was the bathroom wall. That was the
CP.
Central Park with the block window.
Yeah, the disparity between what people are finding in jolly old England.
We're not buying the Red House,
in
boys.
America. Yeah.
Nope.
And on that note, Chris, get me out of here, baby.
Bye.